Okay, so you're applying to grad school. You know that one question is coming, the one that makes your stomach drop. So, what are your research interests? And if you don't have this perfect, polished answer ready to go, you immediately feel like you're messing up. But what if I told you that whole find your passion thing is a total myth? Yeah, let's talk about the strategy that actually works.
Right? You're looking at sample essays, and you see sentences like this one. It sounds like it's straight out of a movie, a perfect little origin story. And it's the kind of thing that just makes you want to close your laptop, because the panic is real. You start thinking you've done everything wrong up to this point.
And you're just sitting there like, I just kind of like biology, or, I think AI is cool. Does that mean you're doomed? That you're already failing this super high-stakes game before you've even really started? Let me tell you right now, absolutely not.
Here's a little secret from inside the world of academia. Most of those people with the perfect stories, they're either the one in a million exception or they're kind of reverse engineering the story. It's not some mystical calling they had as a kid. It's a narrative. It's a story they built for the application.
So this is the single most important mindset shift you need to make. We have to throw out this idea of finding your passion. It's so passive. It's like you're just waiting around for lightning to strike. The reality and the secret weapon of successful applicants is that you don't find it, you build it, actively.
See, here's what an admissions committee is really looking for. They're not looking for some grand, lifelong love affair with a topic. No, they're looking for proof that you have a system. They want to see that you know how to take a big field and narrow it down into an informed, strategic direction.
And this, right here, this is the key. Your research interest isn't the ingredient you start with. It's the finished cake. It is the result of a process. It's the outcome you get after you do the work of exploring and thinking and connecting the dots.
Okay, you're probably thinking, but how do I actually do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to walk through a super concrete 5-step process. Think of it as a blueprint for engineering a research identity you can be really confident about.
All right, here's the roadmap. This is the whole journey, from I think this field is cool, all the way to a sharp, impressive research interest. We start wide with exposure. Then we zoom in by noticing curiosity and finding patterns. We formalize it by asking questions, and then we package it all up with positioning. Let's get into it.
So, step 1, exposure. Your only job here is to be a sponge. You're not supposed to pick anything yet. You're just collecting signals. Go to seminars, read broad review papers, pay attention in your classes. You're just trying to get the lay of the land. And here's the best part. Feeling confused and overwhelmed at this stage? That's a good sign. It means you're actually learning the map. Now for step 2, and this is a big reframe. You might think interest comes from the stuff you just naturally love. And sure, that's part of it. But real, deep academic curiosity, it comes from friction. It's born in those moments where you're confused, or you read a paper and think, wait a minute, why did they do it that way? Or that conclusion doesn't feel right. That's the gold.
And that leads us right into step 3, finding patterns. This is the secret step that most people just skip over. Being curious about one thing one time, that's just random noise. But when you start noticing, hey, I keep getting stuck on this same type of problem, or I've seen this same limitation in 3 different papers, that's not noise anymore. That's a signal. That's a direction. Step 4 is where you translate that gut feeling into the language of academia. You take that pattern and you forge it into a real question. You go from something vague like, I'm reading a lot about metabolism, to something sharp and focused. You have to remember, grad schools aren't looking for fans of a topic. They're looking for people who can formulate questions.
And finally, step 5, positioning. This is where you package it all up for your application. And there's a killer formula for this. Problem plus system plus method. What's the problem you want to solve? What system will you study it in? And what methods or approaches might you use? When you can state that, you sound like you're ready to start tomorrow.
Okay, so that's the whole framework. It might still feel a little abstract, so let's make it super concrete. Let's watch how this process can take a really vague idea and turn it into something that's absolutely PhD ready.
So check this out. Let's say a student starts at stage 1, just pure exposure. I like AI, totally fine. But then, through curiosity about the friction points, they get a little more specific. AI ethics. Then, by noticing patterns in what they're reading, it gets even sharper. A specific problem. Algorithmic bias in healthcare. And finally, they formulate a question and position it, and bam, a real testable specific research interest. That's the evolution.
So the whole point of this is to get you to a statement in your application that makes a professor sit up and say, okay, this person gets it. Let's look at a side-by-side, a real before and after of this process.
Okay, on the left, you've got the weak statement. I am passionate about molecular biology. I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't say anything. Now look at the right. This is the strong statement. It's not about passion, it's about precision. It has a problem, a system, and a method baked right in. I mean, come on, which applicant sounds like they're ready for a PhD program? It's not even close.
So why is that strong statement so much better? Well, first, it's specific. You could actually ask the student about it in an interview. Second, it's defensible, right? It shows they've done their homework. It uses that powerful problem system method formula. And maybe most important of all, it acts like a perfect bridge, connecting what you're interested in to what a specific professor is already an expert in.
Look, if there is only one thing you remember from this entire explainer, I want it to be this. The goal is not to show up with a perfectly formed passion. That's a myth. The strongest applicants, the ones who really stand out, they don't start with passion. They start with a process. They start with structured curiosity.
So you can stop waiting for that magical lightning bolt of inspiration to strike. It's not coming, but that's a good thing because you don't need it. You now have the blueprint. You have the tools to build, to engineer a compelling research identity from the ground up. You're not a finder, you're a builder. So the only question is, what are you going to build?